Hello, harmonica friends! Today I will explain the correct position to support the harmonica with our hands, and at the same time how to operate on the register. It is very important the position of your hands to facilitate the necessary relaxation. This way that will allow us the agility necessary to develop our technique and the precision playing, avoiding unnecessary and harmful tensions. So let's go and see how to do this. The hand that supports the instrument is the left hand. The position of our hand it will be roughly half size of the instrument. This will be the hand that will support the harmonica in a preeminent manner, but important, the harmonica, more than being tight between the thumb and the other fingers, have to rest its weight between the cavities of the hand. The fingers should not tighten the instrument at all, but just tighten it to keep it in place. The discharge of the weight between the cavity created between the thumb and the forefinger will prevent us from tightly clamping the fingers to support it, creating an unnecessary tension. Now, let's talk about the right hand, which will also have to partially support the instrument, but its task will be mainly to activate the register. The position of the right hand will be partly conditioned by this action, which must be performed with the correct part of the finger, which will be along the intermediate phalanx of the index finger. We will therefore have to position the hand in order to obtain this correct positioning on the register. In fact, the work done by the finger that operates the register is enormous because its action of pressure and release will be almost continuous and must avoid positions that may over time cause inflammation and tendinitis. If we operated the register with the last phalanx, the resistance of the register would be distributed over the entire length of the finger and it could be excessive. The other way operate the lever from the base of the finger will remove us agility and the excess part of the finger will probably arrive at your face. The intermediate phalanx offer a good compromise, so we will have to consider carefully this requirement in part binding to determine the final position of the right hand. Now that we understand the role of each hand and the single function, so we must try to understand how they interact with each other. The hands are very important also because their position will clearly influence the characteristic of the sound that we will emit. Well, now we begin to establish a neutral position, a starting point from which once assimilated, we can explore the expressive possibilities that different position of our hands can be influence our sound. As we said, we will place the instrument in the hollow of the left thumb fingers to squeeze it very lightly just to maintain this position. The right hand will position the lever of the register by matching the bottom to the middle phalanx At this point, the fingers of the hand will lean without any pressure crossing them. Posteriorly, the thumb will be positioned diagonally with respect to the instrument. This position should allow us to obtain our sound box, which is a cavity created by our enclosed hands. The hands will not be completely tightened. For the moment, we leave a separation between the palms that will allow the sound to expand and project itself. And at the same time, we pay attention not to excessively separate the hands from the back. The opening between the hands must be done anteriorly to allow the sound to project forwards towards our imaginary audience. Before concluding the posture of the hands and how to hold the instrument, I would like to add something more about the finger that activate the register. It is not so rare to see harmonicists who use for register thumb. I have played this way for many years. To do this, simply rotate the forearm 45 degrees counterclockwise. There may be some advantage by operating the register with the thumb. For example, the less pronounced angle of the wrist, then less effort at the joint level and less chance of developing tendinitis or contracture at the wrist. As we said before, it is enormous the work that plays the finger that operate the register, constantly engaged in the necessary alteration necessary to play. An intense articular and muscular effort, and the thumb could theoretically be better suited to endure this continued and protracted task. But other way in the finger is certainly more immediate and instinctive and offer excellent control and precision. You can even alternate these positions as I did for a few years, thinking different advantages that these two positions could offer you. Do not be surprised. There may be different techniques, but both valid. It happens with all the instruments. Even this aspect characterizes the different schools. For example, look at the section of double basses in the orchestra, and we can see some of them taking the bow in different way, alla francese or alla tedesca. Concluding with a reflection that we will always consider how many great instrumentalists had and have a very personal way of playing. There are artists who have brilliant technique and an instrumental approach that arise well outside the teaching instructions generally shared. And I'm not talking about the harmonica that does not have a long educational tradition because it's a very young instrument. I refer to instruments with a long tradition such piano, Glenn Gould, or violinist Leonida Kavakos, sacred monster of their instrument that have a very personal posture and approach. These authentic champions do not have a posture that corresponds to the consolidated didactics of these instruments. This should not mislead us and think we can do us the same, adopting the approach that we find personally more congenial, natural or comfortable. For us, ordinary mortals, the rules are always valid. On the contrary, if such musicians can play at that level, it means that they can do it despite their posture. And I remember that a good posture is important not only to develop instrumental technique, like speed, sound, precision, but also to avoid physical complications that can cause pains and pathologies that can compromise or even prevent the continuation of our instrumental activity. Also for this reason, both in this video and in my book, these aspects are treated in a never-seen-before manner, which may seem basic and obvious, but if not treated sufficiently, they can create serious obstacles to our instrumental growth. Exercise in the position indicated and do not use force but seek softness and avoid any tension, and in a short time it will turn out to be natural. And for this tutorial that's all. I left you in very good company. Violin Concerto by Bela Bartok. See you on next tutorial. Ciao!